In our first installment, Project Veritas premiered at Cannes Film Festival a video investigation showing clips of Mariel Hemingway, Josh Tickell, and Ed Begley Jr. planning a cover-up to hide funding from a Middle Eastern oil tycoon for a documentary aimed at ending fracking and U.S. energy independence.
She and Ed Begley Jr., he's the other star, trying to get out ahead of this story because we're told James O'Keefe is going to unveil this at the Cannes Film Festival tomorrow.
Since our release, the celebrities have been tripping over themselves and contradicting themselves when defending their actions.
First of all, I got to tell you, I didn't even know he was a rich Middle East oil person. I knew that he was somebody from the Middle East. That's all I knew.
If Washington, D.C. continues fracking, America will be energy efficient, and then they won't need our oil anymore.
I can be the secret American one.
Okay.
Knowing where the money comes from
is only at this table. First of all, I got to tell you, I didn't even know he was a rich Middle East oil person.
Ed Begley Jr. is on the board of the Oscars, so Project Veritas reached out to the Academy for comment, but they were unavailable.
I know that there was information today about a Senate committee. You tweeted that a Senate committee has reached out to you over possible nonprofit participation or cover-up in this video. Is that true? Have you been reached out to by lawmakers?
Josh Tickell's idea of going to the FBI has backfired because Senator Vitter's office has expressed concern about how Josh Tickell and other filmmakers are using NGOs and 501c3 groups to cover up for anonymous funding from the Middle East. Now we get to part 2 of our undercover investigation, Hollywood's war against U.S. energy independence.
I'm Mr. Muhammed bin Rashidi.
Yeah, it's the right number. That's a good number.
I want to protect my bottom line.
Like you said, that's where these interests overlap.
How well can you keep the secret?
Oh, I can keep a secret. I mean, Susan already put together the pieces.
Project Veritas goes undercover to investigate Hollywood. On April 25, 2014, 2 video journalists went undercover at the Variety magazine event in New York City, attended by celebrities like Oprah's confidant Gayle King, Hollywood actress Claire Danes, and the Oscar-winning Hollywood legend Susan Sarandon.
Hi. Mr. Chris, how are you?
Pleasure to meet you. Thanks.
This is Brandon.
I met him just a minute ago.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to trust the professional red carpet wranglers to get you on and off.
I'm Mr. Muhammad bin Rashidi.
The 2 undercover journalists posing as oil executives and advertising agency representatives asked Oscar-winning actress and anti-fracking activist Susan Sarandon if she would be complicit in a film to end American energy independence. The investigative journalist posing as an ad executive directly told Sarandon that Muhammad's interests were different than hers, despite the different motives that Muhammad's family had.
I guess the only thing is that, Muhammad's family's mentality is different from the environmentalists.
Sarandon was so interested in what the fake ad executive and Muhammad had to offer that she told her assistant that fracking was too important and they should handle this directly.
Fracking is really, really important. No, not Chris. It would be through Brian.
It would be through Brian. Oh, okay, great. Okay.
Well, Chris does enough to do. Doesn't have anything to do with fracking. Yeah, the thing is mix and match that.
Okay.
I think it'd be better to just all do it directly.
The man seen here directly speaking to Muhammad is Chris Talbott. Talbott, a filmmaker who is a fellow of the Sundance Documentary Film Institute, has a 20-year relationship with Susan Sarandon. Talbott sent an email to the fake ad agency where he emphasized how closely he works with Sarandon, that he was talking about our offer, and that he could introduce us to people like Yoko Ono. Talbott met up with Muhammad and our journalist posing as an ad executive at Cafe Select on May 7, 2014 to continue the discussion started with him and Susan at the Variety magazine event.
I've worked with her for 20 years on things directly related to philanthropy, so I think she has reservations because of the things that I discussed, like will this end up somehow hurting her if she gets involved. I talked to Susan's assistant Brian or Susan herself nearly every day. And I told Susan we're meeting, by the way.
So what type of films have you made, by the way?
I'm producing a documentary now under the auspices of the Sundance Documentary Fellow Program, which is a pretty, if I do say so, pretty exclusive thing. I was one of 5 films invited to their, one of 5 documentary films invited to their Creative Producers Lab last summer. And they name you a fellow, which is like a title for life, and it sort of means you're accepted. I mean, to put it in shorthand, you're kind of like in the club. You get like, they just start bringing you, they give you a level of access to all of the insiders in the industry that you just, it was sort of like I got 10 years of schmoozing out of the way with that one invitation. I helped Susan Sarandon make, and her partner, ex-partner Tim Robbins make fiction films. That's how I got to know Susan. I helped them produce Dead Man Walking, which Susan won the Academy Award for, and Tim was nominated.
When asked if Mr. Talbott could connect us with Yoko Ono or Sean Lennon, Mr. Talbott said he couldn't speak for Yoko the way he can speak for Sarandon, despite saying that he didn't speak for her earlier in the conversation.
I don't speak to Yoko directly the way I speak to Susan directly, but I speak to her lawyer whenever I need to.
What about Sean?
I've never met Sean. It just hasn't come up yet. But
do you feel the number, 4.5 million, is
yeah, it's the right number. That's a good number.
Although knowing exactly what Muhammad's family's motives were to end U.S. energy independence, Mr. Talbott continued the conversation.
I have different motives.
Yeah.
But I can meet them at the anti-fracking motive.
Right.
So if it works for both of us, everybody is a winner and everybody is happy. Well, the family's goal is to end American energy independence. This way they keep on purchasing oil from us.
Sure.
The more oil we sell, the more money we make. The less oil we sell, the less money we make.
Yeah.
So for us, this is a good investment.
Yep.
If you're looking for a filmmaker,
Yes, please, thank you.
a talented young man like yourself, to make a film which we have backing for, regarding the dangers of gas fracking. His family owns a lot of interest in oil in the Middle East. If fracking takes place, and this country becomes too self-sufficient,
Right.
his family suffers.
Right.
They've been selling oil to the United States for God knows how long.
Yeah.
And apart from the environmental problems, there's a bottom line of money.
Right.
Now, we have some of that money that we want to give to a filmmaker who's interested in making a film against fracking.
Right.
Being that you live on top of it, you might have a leg up on it, as they say. So we're looking for someone that is willing to accept what we have. We've got about $2 million to put toward the film, about and then 2.5 to put the film out there. Yeah. But as you know, the Middle East is the Middle East.
Right.
Now, these are all friendly folks to the United States. He's got nothing to do with any enemies. His family comes from a very good royal stock.
Yes.
Now, for two reasons. We are concerned about the environment, and we're concerned about...
It was delicious. Thank you for a recommendation. Thank you.
So, on top of that, since you have some connections to Susan, maybe Yoko, maybe Sean.
I've never met Sean personally. I've met Yoko, and I know the person quite well who handles all of Yoko's decisions like this. Well, she handles them. I know the person who vets them with her lawyer.
Okay. We would like to bring them on board somehow.
Right.
One of them, or three of them, two of them as spokespersons, or actually do a cameo in the film if possible. And we've got the backing to help that happen.
Okay.
So this is what we're interested in. How do you feel about that?
I'm interested in exploring it.
Mr. Talbott even asks how they can make sure the money is kept a secret. And not once does he express an unwillingness to make an anti-American energy independence film.
That was my question. Did you want your association with the film known or not?
Oh, no.
Now, how do we make sure?
Well, we limit the people that the trust circle. This is the reason I want one person who knows.
Right.
And when I met with you, you explained to me that this is what you do. You hook up celebrities and you're an agent. So that means you get them all together. You're just like a treasure for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to keep on on meeting different people. You know those people,
Right.
and you know what it is that I want.
That's the key.
Yeah,
You already have the contacts for the film.
I do. We would just have to find and agree upon the right filmmaker.
You wouldn't be doing it yourself, or?
I could.
Well, we can work that out
Or we
later.
find somebody.
The lesser the people in this circle, the better. The others, let them be the help.
Okay. And now, when you say you have money to promote the film, that means you've already included a budget to get it out there, basically.
I thought of 4.5, 2 million for the doc, about 90 minutes, and the rest is to push
It's really
it.
important. Yeah, to have a budget to push it.
I met a lot of people who met it, so I gained some experience with this, and I do understand that making it is not the big deal, but pushing it is the other.
We could also probably, maybe you've already worked on this, try to get some larger nonprofits on board when it comes time to do the educational outreach around the film. It's useful to have, partners like environmental NGOs that already have a network of supporters and sort of the pipeline for kind of disseminating the message. A family with oil interests is trying to tell us that we shouldn't frack. And so people would be, there's kind of a level of I would say a level of surprise or interest that would be piqued. That could be a hook, an interesting angle or an interesting hook in, but it would require you to be public about it. And I'm not necessarily recommending you go there, but is that just impossible?
We could think that over.
I'm going to think about it some more, but I feel like it might interest people.
The lesser,
Ultimately, interesting people and getting people hooked and getting people to see the film is the goal.
see, for me personally, I want to protect my bottom line.
Yeah.
So as long as my bottom line is protected, I don't have any other interests that fit me.
My interests are more environmental. So if the environment is affected, that's where many of the people we've discussed it with, Sarandon, Sean, Yoko, would be interested in possibly that angle of the film.
Sure, absolutely. That is one of the important angles, and like you said, that's where these interests overlap.
For us, this is not the first time when officials and politics find out that oil investors are trying to end American energy independence. They have a political way, or more of a military way, per se, to treat situations like this. So the transparency of issues like this is at times could start World War III.
Ramifications are big. Okay. I prefer your experience. Believe me, I understand that you've got a whole.
And I hope that you understand.
Yeah, you have a
I
whole
really hope that you understand.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, I get what you need, and I appreciate that you're putting trust in me, and that you put your interests right out there.
When asked if he could keep Susan's involvement in this anti-American energy film a secret, he says,
How well can you keep a secret?
Oh, I can keep a secret. I mean, Susan already put together the pieces, so I have to find out her comfort level with anonymous backing, right?
Talbott said that Susan's primary concern was just getting caught.
I know that Susan's going to feel that if it's anonymous backing, and if anyone should find out, despite our best efforts to keep it a secret, that there will be there'll be blowback that would impact her, for instance, right?
We hope not.
Whereas maybe being transparent about it gives us an edge in terms of getting the movie seen and takes away that risk.
Well,
And again, I'm just thinking out loud here. I've worked with her for 20 years on things directly related to philanthropy, so I think she has reservations because of the things that I discussed, like will this end up, will this end up somehow hurting her if she gets involved?
Some are just going to say that Susan Sarandon's activism manager, Chris Talbott, was just playing along. But after this meeting, Chris Talbott sent an email dated May 16, 2014, just days prior to The Hollywood Reporter breaking part 1 of the story. In this email, Talbott says that he will be discussing things further with Susan Sarandon and would be willing to meet with us once again despite knowing about our ulterior motives. These are the facts, and the full, unedited, raw video has been released. We call upon all journalists to release their full, raw, unedited reporter materials to accompany their selectively edited stories. During the course of this investigation, we came across one ethical individual, Josh Fox. Josh Fox did not return our phone calls. He didn't return our emails. Josh Fox even sent an email to Josh Tickell and Stephen Nemeth warning him about our fictitious oil man in the Middle East. Our full, raw, unedited interaction with Josh Fox is posted at our website, projectveritas.com. I was willing to give Josh Fox the benefit of the doubt. I was going to talk about this in part 2 of our expose, since much has been made about the fact that we teased Josh Fox in part 1. Remember, that was just a tease. He was contacted by a citizen journalist posing as an ad executive. If the standard is to release the full raw of a tease before that segment is even aired, then most of the news media would be out of business. Fox also criticized The Hollywood Reporter for acting as a conduit for O'Keefe. Quote, "It is beyond regrettable that a venerable institution like The Hollywood Reporter would give play to a known ultra-right-wing deception fraudster like O'Keefe." So Josh Fox is attacking a media outlet for reporting on something that did in fact happen. Mariel Hemingway admitted it happened. Josh Tickell admitted it happened. Ed Begley Jr. admitted he said what he was reported as saying. Josh, isn't that censorship? Since when do we tell the media what they can and can't report in America? Are you a progressive or are you a fascist? Josh Fox said that our journalism has, quote, no place in our industry. What industry are you talking about, Josh? Do you own Hollywood? Do you own journalism? Do you own The Hollywood Reporter? Despite dodging questions from Chris Hayes on MSNBC, sources confirm that Josh Fox is livid with Josh Tickell for the way he behaved with the Middle Eastern oil sheik. And based on part 1 of our report, Josh Tickell doesn't think too highly of Josh Fox either.
If you look at Gasland, Gasland was really made for TV. It's a handy cam kind of movie. It feels like a YouTube video.
So why don't Chris Hayes and Josh Fox actually want you to see what happened in part 1? Why wouldn't they air it? Why wouldn't they show any of the video for you to see and hear? This cuts to the heart of what Project Veritas is really all about. Giving people access to the raw, unedited information is something the mainstream media does not want you to see and hear. Josh Fox also called me a notorious climate denier. Josh, I have not once ever made statements for or against fracking. I have not once ever made statements for or against climate science. I don't take a position on these issues. That's not what Project Veritas is about. We're about exposing people in their own words, about making them live up to their own book of rules, about holding people accountable. We're about exposing the truth. Josh Tickell also wants to promote censorship by sending us this cease and desist letter so that nobody can see and hear what he says on the video. Consider supporting Project Veritas' vital mission of bringing the truth to the American public. Consider making a donation to projectveritas.com today. And stay tuned to part 3 of our undercover investigation, Hollywood's War Against U.S. Energy Independence.
It's funny, when I was in LA, I met with Mariel Hemingway, and once I told her about, the way things operate over there, and that we have many people who have 2 and 3 wives, she said, "I'll be your American wife."
Wow, okay.
I can be the secret American one. Okay, there you go.